Hello, I am the One Owner, and today I'm going to be watching the Tiny Tina's Wonderlands official gameplay reveal trailer. This is not the first trailer for the game, but it's the first one with actual, gameplay. And this is a game that I'm actually looking forward to, and I saw the trailer and I just wanted to make a video about it. So I'm just going to do this like I've done the other videos like this. I'm going to watch the trailer. If there's something I want to talk about, I'll pause, and I might jump around in the trailer a bit and talk about different things at the end. I'm watching this at the official Borderlands channel on YouTube, and I'll probably put a link in the description. If I don't, then I just forgot, but I'll try to remember. Right, so yeah, let's get started. I think this game is not a story game, so to speak. It's not part of the, as far as I've understood, it's not part of the official Borderlands story, and it supposedly takes place somewhere between Borderlands 2 and 3, because, yeah, Tiny Tina's in it, and she looks younger than she is in Borderlands 3, but older than in Borderlands 2. Right, and also it's Dungeons and Dragons themed, which is different. They already made a DLC for Borderlands 2 that was Dungeons and Dragons themed, and they actually released their own official like Dungeons and Dragons type game. They called it Bunkers and Badasses. And yeah, this is a follow-up to that, you could say, I guess. And here we go. Oh, also, before we get started, there is a bit of like blood and gore and stuff in this video if you're not that into that, as it says rating pending.
Darkness washes over the land. Dun dun dun. The Dragon Lord has returned!
Fools! Your party of heroes can't stop me.
Who's ready to rickety roleplay? Spoiler? It's you, baby.
Right, so first of all, I like that they're taking this casual approach to the story. They have a bad guy who's just a bad guy. He's not a bad guy because he's like for example with Handsome Jack, he's mixed into the story. Like he's just a flat bad guy who doesn't seem to have much in terms of backstory. There's probably going to be some, but I don't think it's going to be too deep. Because again, this is mostly just a fun game. It's not part of the story and stuff like that. Also, here I think we have 4 classes. Now, obviously, this one is probably a warrior type class, and this is a mage. This might be a thief type class, and we do see later in the trailer how they use their abilities. I don't know what this class is going to be, but from the looks of things, we're going to make our own characters. So these are not the 4 characters that you can pick from, but rather I think the 4 races, I think, like Dark Elf, what's I don't know, person. I mean, they're both humans. There really is kind of weird to separate them, whatever. And orcs. So, yeah. Right, so before we go further here, so what we just saw was a bit of a showcase, I think, of like abilities and stuff, examples of what we can do. For example, one class has more like bow-like guns. They shoot arrows, and they have like abilities to use. It looks like a Bloodwing-like creature. Like a bat that flew onward and beat the enemies. And then the mages seem to have more AoE-based spells, like freezing enemies and stuff like that. One of the classes clearly has some kind of magic to debuff enemies. That might be the third person that was in the last picture where I paused. That might be there. They might be like a debuffer of some kind. Would be kind of cool. And it does make sense that they cover different grounds. The warrior type seems to have more damage dealing to specific enemies. as it had like this jumping forward and slashing. That was a sword clearly, and it seems like they have like sword type guns. It's gonna be pretty cool. I think it's different certainly from most games where just everyone has guns or everyone has medieval weapons. This kind of merges the two, and it looks cool. Also, I like that there's a huge can of something. It looks like they just dropped it on the on the playing mat or whatever, and then they just integrate that into the design. It's pretty cool. I hope that's the case.
You know, some of you may be asking.
Right. So I'm just gonna say this looks like it's gonna be the overworld. So it seems like it's gonna be sort of like dungeon based, like you're going into dungeons. We did see one, we do see one in a little bit where they actually like it's like a portal thingy. They walk in there, and then it's probably gonna be first person mode. So it's probably gonna swap a little bit, but I don't know how much of this mode we're gonna have. If it's gonna be like, you know, instead of having like a ship to go from place to place, or instead of having fast travel, we walk around on this world, and we got a big tack right here, for example. So it's kind of like they just threw it together and stuff ended up everywhere, like the soda can and stuff. It's kind of cool when they do stuff like that. We'll see. I guess we'll see. Also, the characters have big heads, probably to symbolize the fact that you're zoomed out.
Tina, why are there guns in a fantasy world?
There's that portal I was talking about. So it looks like this is gonna be like a big overworld with like these portals that we can enter, and we'll probably unlock more. We need to complete, for example, let's say there's another place we need to go, like over here, but there's a blockade here, and we need to finish this dungeon before we can pass through that blockade. I think it's gonna be like that, roughly. Also, there are dice everywhere, because this is Dungeons and Dragons.
And I am just so glad you asked, because shut up your face and get shooting!
Also, mimics make a return, which was pretty fun in Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep in Borderlands 2, where you found treasure chests and they just spooked you because they were mimics. They did usually drop pretty good loot, so yeah. And of course, it's Dungeons and Dragons, there's gotta be mimics, right? There's gotta be. And that's another ability, I think, from the warrior. As you can see, like, his abilities, the warrior abilities, seem to be more focused on him moving. Like, they had that one where he jumped with a sword before, and now he's swinging an axe around while moving. That seems to be more his thing. While we have the mage, for example, who just does like big AoE things, freezes enemies, shoots fire at them, whatever. And it looks like it's gonna be cool, I think. Also, of course, Mr. Torg. You can't have a Borderlands game without him. Well, I guess he wasn't in the first one. Whatever, he's a good character. He's really funny, and I love the fact that he's gonna be in this. We'll see how much. It's possible he won't be much. He's a character that they use fairly sparingly. Like, they don't use him a lot. He was barely in Borderlands 3, mostly through like echo logs and stuff. So he wasn't in that very much. But I do like him. He's really cool, and of course he's gotta have a lute. He always does these air guitar solos where he does like with his mouth. It's pretty good. It's pretty cool. Of course, gotta have Butt Stallion. Butt Stallion has become a staple of the series at this point.
You ready, newbie?
Time for character sheets, baby!
Also, of course, be chaotic great is a joke, because they have this sheet of how good you are. Like, you got neutral and chaotic and all that stuff, and you can like do like different things. Like, chaotic neutral is that you supposedly you don't really care, but you also don't really want to be good. So of course they joke about that with chaotic great.
All right, trailer over. No end credit scene here. This ain't no super duper hero movie.
That's a pretty good joke. I like it. After this, there really is nothing else. It just says that we can pre-order the game, essentially. Right. This game I'm looking forward to really a lot. It looks like it's going to be really good, actually, from what we see in this trailer. I mean, we have all these attacks and stuff. We have all these enemies. It looks great, purely on a graphical level. I think it looks about as good as Borderlands 3. That was not a good picture. There we go. And of course we have the loot systems back. It looks like there's going to be like a sky level, which could be pretty cool. And of course, as we can see, they drop swords and clubs and stuff like that. All kinds of stuff, really. It looks like it's going to be pretty cool. And of course, we got this one where he freezes them. It's pretty good. And also, this music is really weird. No, this is not where no, let's do here. I think it's in Japanese. I'm not sure. It sounds like it. Whatever. I'm not good with that. It's very different because it's not exactly the music that you'd associate with Borderlands or what's it called, Dungeons and Dragons. But it works. It works. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. The style of the game works with the music, even though you wouldn't think that it would. Let's get the loot again. And then these characters, I don't know who they are. Right. Like I said, it looks like it's going to be a really cool game, and I'm looking forward to it. Honestly, there isn't much bad I can say from this trailer alone, because it doesn't really show, like, story and stuff like that. It really only showcases a lot of the gameplay and a lot of the design they have, and everything looks cool. This looks really cool. It's of course a huge dead whale, but it looks cool. It's well made, and it looks like a real level of a game, which it is, so makes sense. But like, you don't want your levels to look shitty, because then you're like, is this really a game? I could have made this in freaking Unity or something. Like, no, it actually looks good. And this is not the only one, but it's so hard to find good frames that look good. So here, like here, we got this pirate ship, and it's shooting these cannonballs, and we got a big old castle here. It's pretty cool. A lot of cool ideas here. Let's see, here we go. Yeah, castle. Because we got the big bad guy here too. Honestly, he's probably going to have some story, but he's probably mostly just going to be like the big walking target that you're going to kill. And this game is mostly, I think, more about... It's probably going to be about, let's see here, when it comes to like talking and stuff. Let's see here. Him, and her. They're going to be talking, I think. And I think that's mostly what's going to be. And then they're going to talk to characters in the game and stuff. And I think that's probably going to be most of the comedy from the game. I think that's it. Which is fine, I guess. I mean, that's kind of how they did it in the older games. Like, you talk to people who are on, like, the ship or in Sanctuary, whatever. And then you go around and talk to people. And it's mostly that, I think. You're mostly being called, essentially, by people that you already talked to. Yeah, it looks really cool. I'm looking forward to it a lot, actually. So, yeah. That's about what I have to say about this trailer, honestly. It looks good. Graphically, it's great, and it looks like it might be a really fun game. It depends on how they do with the skills. Let's see here. Here we go. I think this is gonna be like a ranger class. Or this. Honestly, either one could be. I don't know. It's hard to tell, really. But this one is clearly a mage. This one's definitely the warrior, because he's an orc. They're not going to put an orc as something other than a warrior, because orcs excel in strength. Makes sense. And then these two are a bit harder to make sure. I mean, dark elves are usually like rogues and thieves and stuff. So this is probably a rogue or thief. And this is probably a, like I said before, an archer. So that's going to be cool, I think. And like I said, it depends on what skills they get and how they use them. It seems like we get like little bats or something that can fly around, like Bloodwing and stuff like that, like pets. And yeah, like I said, we really don't know enough about the skill trees of these individual classes to actually make like an accurate description of how they're going to be playing. All we really have seen is that the mage class can freeze enemies, they can shoot stuff, deal damage over a large area, and the warrior can charge and use big weapons to deal a lot of damage by smacking enemies with them. That's really all we see in this trailer, but again, it looks cool. So yeah, for now, thanks for watching, and thanks for listening to me rambling on about this game. It looks cool, and I'm looking forward to it. For now, bye!